We have added two new features to our bar replay tool, and that is the capability to select a precise date or a random bar on the chart. So in this video, we're going to walk you through bar replay tool, how to use it, and all of the examples that you can embark on your own time to practice markets, to research, to do anything in between those two topics. So the first thing we're just going to remind you of is the select bar tool. When you have the select bar tool selected, and this is by default, you have this blue vertical line and scissors where you can hover it at any point on your chart. So let's go right here, October 27th, 2023, and click, and you will go back in time to that point. Now, this gives you the ability to watch this unfold again so you can study price action. There's a play button here. We click play. Now we can watch the action unfold. We can even change the speed as needed. If we want it to go really fast, we can do 10x. If we want it to go really slow, we can do 0.1x. The choice is ours. So now that you understand this, which is the basic part of getting started with bar replay tool, we want to exit out and just demonstrate some of the other features. And also keep in mind, this works for any symbol. So throughout this video, we're going to be changing symbols to remind you of that. So now we're on Bitcoin. We click bar replay. Let's click the drop down. And what we first want to show you is random bar. And that's because random bar is a very effective tool for traders who want to practice without knowing at all what happened. So if we click random bar, the chart is going to calculate and show us a random point in time that we simply did not pick. If we hover our mouse over this last bar here, it says April 11th, 2020. So we have randomly ended up on April 11th, 2020. Now what we can do is practice trade this or paper trade this, knowing that we have no idea what's going to happen next. This means we have to apply our strategy directly to this chart to see if it could work. We could use indicators. So if we wanted to, for example, add a moving average, we could open up our indicators menu, find our simple moving average, click. It's now been added to the chart. We could change its time frame, let's do 50, and we could use this potentially as a guide to trade or follow this Bitcoin price action more closely. Now, this is a 50-day moving average. So perhaps in this example, what we're going to do is we are going to essentially click play, and if price breaks above the 50-day moving average, we will buy. And if price goes below the 50-day moving average, we will sell. Let's click play and let's see if price gets above the 50-day moving average. And let's see what sort of transpires here. Okay, so price just broke above the 50-day moving average. Let's go ahead and buy 10 Bitcoins. 20 Bitcoins, we clicked it twice. If we wish, we could change the exact quantity, by the way. So we have 20. Why don't we type in 80 here and click buy? So now we have 100 because we had 20. We just typed in 80. Okay. Now, also pay attention that as you get started with this type of practice trading, you hover your mouse over the amount that you currently own or are short, and you can see TP and SL, and you can drag these to specific points in time. So for this take profit, why don't we say we'll take profit if price breaks out above this sort of giant red candle. So before this giant red candle happened, price gets above that, you know what? We're taking profits. For our stop loss, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and drag this down and what looks like a good area. Let's say the lows. So meaning, let's say that if price comes back and goes below the lows of the candle that broke out above this 50-day moving average, then we'll get out. So we've set up our conditions, we waited for the technical indicator to get hit, and now let's see if we make money or lose money on this practice trade. Remember, this is just practice. So we're just going to wait along and wait and wait and wait. Now here is what is interesting. You can click pause at any point in time and adjust your trade as needed. So here's a great example. This trade is now going quite well. Why keep our stop loss in the red? Let's go ahead and move this up so that no matter what happens at this point, we're going to walk out of here with a profit. So we've dragged it up to the profit point. So either we placed a good trade, so we're going to wait for this area to get hit, or we're going to take this slight profit on what we risked. Let's click play. Let's see if we can make it through. And ladies and gentlemen, the trade worked out accordingly. We came out with a fairly nice paper trading profit. This is, of course, just a fake example. This is not real money. This is not real price action. We are practice trading. We are going back in time and we are testing if our concept can actually work or not. And recall, this works across all asset classes and symbols. So as another example, why don't we go to Tesla? Here's a chart of Tesla. Let's delete this indicator. Now let's showcase the select date feature. So we type in select date. And now what we can do is we can type in 2023 0101. Essentially, we're saying let's go to January 1st of 2023 for Tesla. Now we can see here the first was a Sunday, so let's click the second for that Monday. And now what we're doing is an ultra precise starting point. That is the power of the new select date feature. You click select date, type in the date, you get the ideal perfect starting point. It's not a random point. It's not a point you clicked with the select bar feature. You type in the date and you get to go practice trade it or research it. So this is very interesting. We've got this chart of Tesla here, quite a bit of volume as well. What we're going to do in this example is we're going to try placing a practice trade with our drawing tools. Now we can see here there is quite a low. I mean, that was a fairly large sell-off at this point in time. So we actually are not going to be looking for this sell-off in terms of a historical support zone. We're just going to say that this initial drop was so intense and it almost looks like it was like a capitulation of sorts, that we're going to try to catch the bottom. Now, as you know, they often say don't catch bottoms, don't catch a falling knife, but this is just an example. This is practice trading. We get to see if, I don't know, if we can actually pull it off. That's the great power of this tool. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and let's buy 500 shares of Tesla. So we type in 500, you can see here, buy or sell. Let's click buy. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make quite a tight stop loss here. Basically, if it breaks below this level here that we've drawn, we essentially just want to get out. And then in terms of our take profit, why don't let's see if there's an interesting trend line that we can spot. So in terms of our take profit, we're going to try to mark the point whereby we think it'll break above the trend line. So we think it'll break above the trend line right about here. This is just pure guessing. We have no idea what's going to happen next. We could lose money on this trade, but the whole point of this example is to show you how you could think through this type of environment, how you can go back to a specific point in time and then research or practice trade. So let's see what happens. We're going to go ahead and click play. And it looks like it's getting close, folks. Getting very close. Let's see here. And we just broke above the trend line. No, we didn't. We're back above it. And we're just going to sit here and watch. This is just practice trading. And we did it. Unbelievable. 2 for 2 on this tutorial. We had no idea what was going to happen next. It's just an example of what you can do for yourself to practice, practice, practice. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We hope that we showed you the power of bar replay. And we also hope that we showed you some of the new features that you can take advantage of. Now, before we head out of here, one thing we do want to do, and this might take some time, is we're going to try to see if we can speed this chart up to the very end, because let's end on a positive note. When you do practice trade on bar replay trading, and if you do happen to get something perfectly right, or maybe just you're measuring your stats, you're doing multiple trades, it might not even be perfect, you just had a profitable outcome while paper trading with the bar replay tool. Well, when the chart finally catches up with the latest price point, so that's the price point of, the current day that you're in, what's going to happen is you are going to get a message like this, whether you made money or lost money. It's going to give you this wonderful congratulations, tell you about your profit, your win rate, and your best trade, and you can review those stats. You can also share them across social as well. If you lost money, well, you'll get a nice encouraging message. Practice again. It's not real money. You have access to these tools. So with that being said, traders, we hope you enjoy the bar replay tool, but more importantly, that you really love the new select date and random bar tool. And as always, you have the classic select bar tool as needed. So thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to reading your comments.